almost ready.
Please.
When I was a kid, I loved playing the SimCity games, and maybe that's no surprise. When I was playing the games, I often wondered, how would a city planner play SimCity? What would their cities look like? Well, now I am a city planner, and I can answer that question for myself about 25 years later. I'm going to do a quick playthrough of SimCity 2000, the version of SimCity that came out right at the heart of my childhood. If you're not interested in gaming videos, I understand. I'll upload a normal video in a couple weeks. But if you're interested in seeing how a city planner plays SimCity, stick around. Okay, I'm going to name the city Beautiful City because, you know, this channel. Also, I like that it's aspirational. And if it ends up being a burnt-out hellscape, then the name becomes ironic.
What up, everybody? We watching something like this today, real quick. We're talking about building communities. So what other ways to build a community than to watch, somebody play SimCity, right? Simulating the idea of building a city, but really a city is a community. I just want to see if there's any of those aspects, community aspects in this game. But other than that, too, this week was very interesting. We're going to talk about some of that as well. We're probably not going to watch this entire video, but I just want to watch it for a bit, and yeah. So everybody, this is your boy Joe Lewis, founder of Skylark. Skylark is an on-chain engagement platform for brands, communities, creators to amplify their audience with gamified activations, aka quests. So watching this, right, I'm thinking about how engagement can contribute to the cultivation of a city, and wondering how that plays out in a game like SimCity. So let's watch it for a bit, and then we'll chop it up.
I'm going to keep the difficulty on easy because it's been about 20 years since I've played this game, and I don't want to give myself too much of a challenge for this video. So let's click done, and we can get started once this dialog goes away. There we go. And the first step here is to build a power plant. We need power to power up our city and put those lights on. So I'm going to try to find the power plant icon here. There it is, power plant. And I'm going to start with a coal power plant because it's really cheap and it generates a fair amount of energy. It's also really polluting. A coal power plant here in California would be a really hard sell. Pollution is highly regulated and managed at a regional level through air quality management districts, but SimCity doesn't have air quality management districts, so I'm going to give everyone the black lung, so that's cool. and I'm going to put it near the edge of the map. And this is because of SimCity. In the corner, most of the pollution falls off of the map. Of course, the pollution really goes to neighboring cities. Again, this argues for a regional model of planning because without it, every city would have an incentive to put polluting land uses right on their borders. But for now, we're going to pollute our poor neighbors instead of our citizens because that's how SimCity works. And all right, so I'm putting some power lines going towards the center of the map. That's where I think that we have the best place to put a city here. I leveled it out a little bit before I started because it had some of those annoying hills, which I really didn't like. So I kind of made it flat, just made it easy for us here. Gotta put away that budget. We'll talk about budgets later. So I want to go and kind of try to show you the city here. So there we go. That's where we're going to put the city. I want to put it here because it seems like a good place to start a city. I have the ocean below, connected to a river. So there are lots of different theories behind where you can start a city. There are some cities that are started on easily defensible positions like hillsides. We don't really have to worry about that here. Others are founded to serve as a convenient marketplace for farms in the hinterland. But it seems like the largest and most important global cities are located near a major harbor, often at the mouth of a river. New York, Shanghai, London, Hong Kong, they're all prominent examples of this. I have high expectations for my city, so I'm going to start here with a spot near the river and the ocean. Here's where the fun begins. What is the city going to look like? I like to start with a road layout, which is I think how most people start. But there's so many ways to design a road layout. One of the reasons grids are so popular is that they facilitate the easy expansion of cities. I like easy, so let's do grids. But what size should the grids be? The answer has a lot to do with municipal finance. Let's take a look at the grids so you can see what I'm talking about. Here we have two different grids, one on a 4x4 square and another with a 6x6 grid. It's not a huge difference in grid size, but it's a significant difference in the proportion of land dedicated to the road. The grid on the left dedicates 36% of land to roads, while the grid on the right dedicates 27% of land to road. It's not an enormous difference, but in SimCity, as in real life, roads require maintenance, and the funds for that maintenance come from somewhere. So not only are there more roads in the smaller grid, but there are also fewer grid cells to pay taxes to maintain them. But that's the only one part of the equation. The other is land value. Property taxes in the game, as well as in real life, are assessed based on the value of the property. So people with mansions pay more than people in small bungalows. And generally speaking, density results in higher property tax receipts, at least here in SimCity. So if you were to look at it this way, you want to minimize the roads and maximize land value. But in SimCity, traffic increases as the number of intersections decreases. So there is somewhat of a disincentive to have large grids. I like to think of this as having walkable grids versus spread out road networks that require cars all the time, like in the suburbs. I'm going to start with a tighter grid in the dense commercial core and larger rectangles in the less dense residential areas. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit because SimCity building takes some time. I'm going to add some industrial zones. I'm going to power up those zones with those power lines, and I'm going to add the basics of a water network so Sims have something to drink. So we're all set. So we have water and power, so we're starting to see something grow, especially in the industrial areas. I find that the industrial areas are easiest to grow in the beginning of the game. I still have no services yet, no police stations or fire stations. I'm going to wait a little bit till they demand it because, again, this whole game is about managing tax revenue versus tax expenditures, or what you're spending your tax money on. The taxes we can bring in without spending that money, the better. So let's see. So probably the first thing they're asked for is a fire station or police station. So I'll kind of be ready with that. I'll also be sort of thinking about how I want to design the rest of the city. But I want to take a moment here to talk about zones while we're kind of waiting for this first part of the city to grow. Zoning is something that I think SimCity does a really good job with, and it's sort of the bread and butter, the basic mechanic of the game, and they do a really good job. Real cities have zoning maps, just like SimCity, and the primary zones are commercial, residential, and industrial, often with a variety of densities, just like in SimCity. We have low density and high density here in SimCity 2000, and in real cities, you have low density residential and high density residential, and sometimes medium density residential. So that's really great. The one thing that sort of annoys me, is that they don't use the same colors that planners use for the zones. In most zoning maps, and not all, commercial is red, residential is yellow, and industrial is gray. And it's sort of embarrassing because I grew up on SimCity zoning colors. So when I became an actual planner, it took me a long time to switch the colors in my head because in my mind, residential was always green. But if you think about it, it makes sense to save green for open space or recreation or parks because that's sort of actually green space. So I don't know why SimCity went with green for residential zones. Maybe they just like the color, but that's one sort of odd difference between the two. On the topic of zoning, SimCity does a really great job with the zoning map, but they don't really do a great job with the rest of the zoning ordinance. And I'm talking about things like height restrictions, sign regulations, parking lot size requirements, and many of the features that determine the overall design and character of a city. They don't really touch that, and it sort of makes sense. This game was made about 25 years ago, so there was really no capacity to have custom zones that users could kind of input. But I think that the game did the best that it could with its what it had, but it would have been nice to be able to say, I really want tall buildings in this commercial zone, or I really want kind of the strip commercial look if I wanted to replicate that as well. So it would have been cool to have more control over that, but again, can't blame Maxis and SimCity for that. So citizens are wanting police. I'm going to drop that kind of right here in the middle. And add some power to that. Zap. All right, so they also want fire, which I know I should provide. Let's see, I'll do it right here next to it. So now we have fire and power. So now we have fire and police right in the center of the city. Hopefully this will affect land values. Again, this whole game is about the revenues and expenditures, and land value is really important. This is also true to real life. Citizens want amenities, and if you provide amenities, they will, the land value will increase because people want to pay more for that house or piece of property. So the citizens here in this town want police and fire protection, and their land values will go up because of it. Okay, I'm getting water shortage reported here, so let's see if I can fix that. Still not pumping enough water over to this area. Okay, so I will add another water pump over here. See if that helps. Yep, that does the trick. And I need to power this zone here, don't I? See, that's one thing. I think in the later games, the roads carried the power, just as power lines did in this game. And that's also more accurate to sort of reality. When part of a city's laid out, the road goes in and power is often buried underneath the road or sort of added right along the road. So when you add a road, you're adding power, and you don't have to worry about sort of crossing power lines between these different blocks. It's sort of an annoying mechanic in this game that they fixed later. I'm going to skip ahead here again while I deal with some water issues, and I want to get to the budget window, one of the most important windows of the game. All right, so my expenses are looking to be, wow, so I'm very close. My property tax revenue is $217, and I'm spending $100 each on the police and fire, and the transit authority, so the roads, I'm paying for roads, is $16. So I am making $1 at the end of this year. So I'm basically breaking even currently. My downtown looks dismal. I love how SimCity 2000 sort of overstates like blight or vacancy to make it really obvious to you that like these buildings are not being occupied or they had seen better times. And I guess that's true to life too. I mean, you can see how like a shrinking city, like a Rust Belt city would look like this after, commercial or residential tenants have abandoned it. So good for you, SimCity, for kind of doing that in a rather obvious way. Let's make another time jump here to add a little bit more to the city and see how that affects the budget. Not doing as well now on the budget. As you can see, my property taxes have gone down as my city is somehow shrinking, and my expenses have stayed the same. So I'm losing money now. Probably is due to the fact that I don't have a school in this town, so I probably should add one. So I'll add a school because they probably want one, and I'll power it up. Okay, so they have a school. So that might make them a little bit happier. Okay, skip forward a little bit. A lot of SimCity's micromanaging and slow growth. So I jumped ahead. It's now July 1928. And as you can see, the city's a little bit bigger. I've added on we have some new industrial areas. So there's a new dense industrial up here near the new hospital with a nice view of the water for patients. I also built a causeway over this little body of water here to another dense industrial area that I hope grows, though it's not doing great right now. And I added some dense residential. So previously, this is all sort of low density residential, but I added some high density residential around parks. So, parks don't actually need to be connected to the road network to do its job of increasing land value. So I thought, hey, let's do this sort of 9x9 grid where all of the residential kind of has access to a park in the middle. And they're doing pretty well. My commercial zones have bounced back a little bit. You don't see some of the blight that you saw earlier. I had to add another power plant. So up here, near the top of the screen here, I have another power plant because we were getting so big. We needed more power, which is awesome. And I think it's about time to help out our economy by adding a neighbor connection. So that's one great thing I love about SimCity 2000, all the SimCity games, is that, yes, we do, even though we're going to take us down to almost no money. But we've now connected to Little Rouge. And that allows us to sell our goods to Little Rouge, to import goods from Little Rouge. I love that SimCity knows that cities don't exist in a vacuum, but in fact have relationships with nearby cities. So this is a great example of that. So I don't have a lot of money right now. I'm down to $800. But in general, my budget has been looking a lot better. Here we can look. The projection for the end of this year is that I'm going to gain $400, which is awesome. So we're kind of in the black, even though I have a school, police station, fire station, hospital, some parks. So that's looking good right now. I'm sort of in a stable spot. So I might speed up the game once again and see what we can do from there. This might be a good time to look at the ordinances. So we don't have any ordinances now. That's what I just want to show you. We don't have any ordinances, but here, let's open up the ordinances window. So this is another part of the game I really like, that you can set city policies according to your sort of point of view or what you want the city to be like. So we should probably look at pollution controls here. So that's $62, but I hope that will reduce some of the pollution that we're dealing with here. But there's all sorts of ordinances. I don't know. Maybe a pro reading campaign sounds good. I only have one school still.
Now look at this. You can do ordinances. You can put free clinics, junior sports, tourist advertising, business advertising, city beautification, annual carnivals. All these can go on the budget of a city planner to help basically cultivate their community. I'm gonna pause here to catch you up. Can you hear me? You're on mute.
Yeah.
Huh? What? Oh, you out somewhere. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just watching SimCity for a minute. Watching how that mirrors the idea of building communities in real life and trying to see if there's any parallels to blockchain, what we're doing with our mission. So I'm about to watch like 5 more minutes about it and then talk about it.
Sounds good.
Right.
Probably should consider adding more, but also this is sort of amazing public smoking ban. Let's in this game in 1993. At least where I grew up, we didn't have any sort of public smoking bans until the early to mid 2000s. So good for SimCity for being on top of that trend. And let's see, city beautification. I mean, City Beautiful is practically in the name of that one, so I'm going to add that as well. That will help our tourist draw. And we'll leave it at that. But again, I really like that you can set these policies, and we'll be coming back to this for sure. So let's give you a little tour of the city now. It's 1943. I've expanded some more. I have another residential block here. If you notice, I have my house right here. So they gave me a mayor's house, and I put it amongst the people, though separated for them by some small parks. I don't want to get too close, as my mayoral rating I don't think is very high still. Also new is a city hall. We have a city hall, and I put it in the central business district. I added some trees to create sort of a park, so there's a connection there. People can get from the city hall to the waterfront via park. Yeah, and I think since last we talked, I've added this new commercial area. So we're doing pretty well. We're growing. One thing that's starting to bother me is this area. So this is that low density residential that I started out with, and it's sort of cramping my style. So it's located right next to the central business district. And it sort of doesn't make sense. You want something maybe a little bit higher density here. But I kind of created a low density grid here, and have this low density homes. So, and this is a problem that many cities face. I know here in Sacramento, we have our downtown in some ways. Our central city is hemmed in by these low density residential areas that kind of grew up around the central city. Sometimes, as early as the early part of the last century. So you have this problem where you want to kind of expand in density, but you have these low density neighborhoods. In the real world, this would be a very difficult problem. It's not so easy to say, we're going to upzone your neighborhood, allow apartments, and we hope and then we should encourage that. Voters and residents would often be up in arms about something like that. So the nice thing about SimCity is we can do things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the game here, and I'm going to start demolishing all of these areas because I want to upzone them. So I want them to become high density houses, not low density houses.
Just going to demolish the community like that?
Away they go. I'm really going farther than just upzoning here. I'm basically using the state's power of eminent domain to buy all of these homes, kick out their residents, clear the land, upzone the land, and give the land over to developers to build high-density developments. This sort of thing sounds like it should be illegal for cities to do, but in fact it is legal. The Supreme Court said so in the case of Kelo versus New London, decided in 2005. The court said that public entities like cities can use their eminent domain power to take land from one private entity and hand it over to another private entity for development, if it was in the public interest. This freaked out so many people that dozens of states wrote laws limiting eminent domain power to prevent this kind of handover of land. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll see how that grows.
On that note, we're going to pause there. See, people, that's actually very important that he called it out, because there was a moment in time where a lot of Black communities were being built along potential places for highways. And, this got kicked out of that area, and you had to go where you got to move elsewhere. And I think some of that was in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken. Some of that happening, and this account is interesting. I wonder where is. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, well, that was random. I'll tell you guys more reason why I started off like this in a bit. That being said, let's get down to a couple of the topics for the day. Do you want to say anything about what you just saw?
What you say?
Do you want to say anything about what you just saw?
I think it's great. Hold on.
Yeah.
Is it loud in the background though?
Not too loud.
Okay, that's good. Well, I'm guessing you just, I don't know. To me, Sim City, okay, so this is my thing. You said it's like about like community. And like, or like that's what you were trying to like get to, like building a community, like thinking about Sim City in terms of that. But to me, Sim City is like world building. It's like, oh, you're building an entire world. Not community building. Community happens when people come to a place. Not like when you, not just when something's built. It's like you, a house is like a part of the world, but it doesn't become a home until someone moves in, if that makes sense, right? So it's like, I guess I think about it like that. People make community. So, yeah. And then him just like annihilating all those homes in that district was crazy because that's an example of a community being destroyed and of the world still just going on because that's just a part of the world. But yeah, that's what it made me think of.
No, but I think that's a good point that you brought up because that's exactly why I started it. Like I started before you joined, I was looking for a game for a couple of reasons. Like I might do some streamer content where I'm playing a game and the game is like community based, and that way I can like create content from that, reuse the content. Um, but I haven't found the game yet, and I was just thinking about um, um, SimCity, Sims. Um, what other games are there that's like that? Animal Crossing, right? And Animal Crossing was one of the early games that I thought about when I was building Skylark, and how you can go around on a map and kind of build up your house. Um, so games like that, I think they also speak to the utility of crypto in a way where at a micro level you can simulate economies and see what methods work to gamify or monetize or revitalize, or just create liquidity in a digital community. Um, so that's where the conversation started for me, and then I started going down the rabbit hole and trying to find games that related to that and to see which ones could be. And then I came across SimCity. Some of the stuff though that's on that list, like you said, it's more world building and it contributes to like the visual outlook of the city. But I just thought it was also interesting, like in the list of ordinances that he could pick from, there was like related, like engagement related thing, like budget for beautification, budget for carnival, budget for these things that could tourists and attraction to the city. And now paralleling that to like moments right now where we have the World Cup, right? Where how much of the decision making and balance in that is being contributed to our ability to unlock funds for stuff like this.
But I also think about it, Sim City was like the first like Sims game, and like that was kind of how you did it. But Sims has the people, and the people you can pick the personality, they can interact. It's more personalized. So I feel like as far as like building, it should be personalized to the people that giving them making add character to it. If that makes sense, because
Yeah,
people um like I said, community doesn't happen until people show up. So it's really about like that whole aspect of allowing people to show up and you give them a space to show up, and that's how community starts to expand and evolve.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. So, audience, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, that's what we think. But moving on from that for a second, I do want to talk about some updates for the platform. So this week I have started to go down the 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 journey of exploring augmented reality and how to utilize basically open like worlds to move people towards quest location-based experiences, to move people towards activations, art, or any other engagement element that they want to engage with. And given that the World Cup is coming through this year, we ought to have some way for people to find things to engage and do, whether it's art, whether it's events, whether it's coupons, anything you can go find and move around and obtain. So I started playing with this idea. I'm gonna share my screen, and you guys can see the mobile demo, the web demo rather, the web demo. So all this is gonna get fixed, but let's actually make this. Now imagine this is your phone, people. Imagine this is your phone. I don't want to dox myself. Wow. Okay. All right. So there's no street names, so you can't see where I'm at. But so I'm close enough. So I'm not close enough to a coin. I can't get it, and then I have to kind of walk over there and get it. So I'm remapping some of these coins to actually have coin symbols, right? But now people will be able to go and get coins. What next I'm going to do is put, instead of coins, put experiences that can open an art piece or open a actual AR experience. Ultimately speaking, whatever you're doing, you're collecting these elements, you're going to the actual physical place that you can own. Like, this is an attraction to get you to that physical place, right? And so we got places like the Atlanta Blockchain Center in here as home base. We also got home bases tagged. So there you go. So we're gonna keep building, clean this up, but ultimately, I'm also thinking about, I'm gonna have this AR button right here that opens AR mode, and you can find the things. But yeah, I've been working on this for about 48 hours now, y'all. So part of me wants to switch it to the Apple development kit, but I'll show y'all why in a bit. So here's why I want to. This is why I want to shift it to the Apple development kit, because maybe, I don't know. you can build on top of experiences like this, which looks like very cool. Where is it? Trying to get to this image. This image right here. Stuff like this. Like, look at that. This is it. Here you go. Wait, maybe I should just use Mapbox. Because that looks... Yeah, I think I might use Mapbox. Yeah, I think I might use Mapbox. Yeah, I'm gonna check this out. Yeah. Well, I answered my question. I answered my own question. So, yeah, I'm going to continue to work on this, but I think I'm going to change this to Mapbox. I want something more game looking, and this because the elements with the coins. If you look at the coins down here, I want my coins to look like these. And while that does look cool, you know, to have it like this, it would be cooler if it wasn't so like Google Mappy. Like, I don't never like the fact that Google like watermarks their logo into this from like 2013. It was kind of tacky. So I'm going to work on that. You got anything to say, Layla, about that? Is that interesting?
Yeah, I do. I was gonna let you stop sharing so it doesn't do like the echo thing. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I thought it looked good. I definitely think the other map option is better. And um, um,
Where you at?
I can't tell you my location. I
Oh,
can't let the
oh yeah,
internet
yeah,
know I'm
yeah, yeah.
bad.
You can't, yeah, you can't tell. You don't want to dox
Yeah,
yourself.
I
Yeah.
don't want anybody weirdos coming after me. But this is crazy, though. It's distracting me.
What you
It's on
so?
his slides, though.
Huh?
I meant it's like a DJ mixer. I was on the Beltline today for something, and then someone brought up a DJ mixer that's close to where I was at. So I was like, let me go. So yeah, he's kind of mixing really crazy though. So sorry if it's distracting though, but yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
No, he's actually kind of going crazy because now he's
Yeah.
mixing like a whole. That's how it's not in my head earlier. But anywho, he's kind of going crazy right now. I can't like, okay, change the map, and what else? I like where it's going. I think what you have is a good prototype for where you want to go. Figure out your aesthetic. To me personally, I would visualize what the aesthetic of it should be because you can build it cool, that's fine and dandy. But the aesthetic is what is really going to be memorable for people to experience. Remember we talked about this. I'm a UI girl, you're the UX guy, but I think that or not UX. No. Yeah, UX. I would say you're like a UX person. I'm like
No,
a
you're.
UI person.
I said you're the UX person.
I'm the UX person.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm like UI UX. You're like the technical guy,
Yeah.
right? And so like I'm over here thinking like it needs to be prettier. It needs to have like not even prettier. It needs to have something that it's like have build a world for people. If they're about to enter your world. What does that world look like? This is why I keep talking about world building. You really, really want to build a set world. What does Skylark world look like? Is it just you navigating the regular world? Think about how Sims doing it. They were building a world. It was their world, their aesthetic. What does that look like for you? That's just what you have to think about.
Yeah, that's why I started. Like I have. Okay, I'll show you this. Then I'll share my screen again. I started defining what's known as location types. So location types, there'll be tokens. You see those tokens. I'm calling them G Sky tokens because that's a nod to my Nigerian community. That was their phrase. They came up with G Sky, G Sky. And then there is gift card locations. So you visit a gift card location and it can be just a regular location or it can be an AR location where you see the gift card spinning in the air and you can claim it in that manner. All these things, like when you see Pokemon Go, right? It was very much, if you think about Pokemon, to your point, right? It was in existence on the regular world, but the way they made it feel, in a sense, where if you were to, look at a, why is this so slow? If you open the map at any given moment in time, you might see some tree brushes hit. You might see some like leaves. You might
Yeah, they
see.
built a world. Like they literally built a world for you to exist in. That just was a layer on top of the world. That's what I'm saying. Like you want to just think about it as artistically. What is my world?
Yeah,
And you have to kind of sketch that out, draw that out.
yeah. Some of it though, from a map perspective, depend on. That's why I gotta look at map view because I think it gives you more flexibility, right? and you once you like to your point, once you have the aesthetics down, that's like majority of the thing. And but yeah, they have well, I forgot what those locations. Let's just look at it though. Pokemon Go location. I hate this sometimes. The things are so. Yeah, like even having like Team Rocket, um, having Team Rocket in the sky, right?
But you see the aesthetic though. They have an aesthetic.
Yeah, definitely have an aesthetic. Uh, I'm trying. So no, yep. I'm down with that. I just wish there was a better map. Okay, here we go. Map view. So they had main menu button, which is that Pokeball profile icon, buddy icon, near type, blah blah blah, stuff like all that. Okay, let's keep going. Gyms, Team Rocket balloons, campfire icon. Okay, here we go. This is good. So this is Halloween, right? So when Halloween came around, things looked different. This is another holiday view. And then this was just like a powder day. But the map basically was a living element, to your point. So um so I'm definitely gonna check this out. Well, I'm gonna check out Mapbox. You probably can design it with Design Studio. Hey guys, so as you can see, today has kind of turned into more of a developer day. This is actually kind of pulling me in, and I'm not trying to have that happen right now. But okay, digital maps comprise of three geospatial data, styling rules, which is basically JSON, and then display. So sample workflow, upload a data set, which basically gets you some, I'm assuming, coordinates. or draw, export to tile set, start with or start with, add data to style data, publish, geospatial data. So I don't think that's exactly what I want to do. It's not far off. Somebody else? Who else? You? Let's see what other people have done. What's up, Elijah?
Yo, what's up, Joe? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Let me see who's. Hey, Layla. Was today's conversation been centered around?
It's centered around world building, apparently.
Interesting.
I started just thinking about Sim Cities and then I started going down this rabbit hole because you saw the AR game that I'm working on, right?
Yeah.
And now this integration of having immersive 3D maps, right, for development, and there's a couple of apps that are now available that you can just build with, and yeah, there's a couple of maps that are now or apps that are now just available that you can build with and create experiences like that.
Interesting.
And what you experienced with the game that I built so far, like this one,
Yeah, were you? Yep.
I plan on having terminus locations on here. I was talking to Brandon about it. Like,
Oh, dude,
you could have like a terminus, like basically like a train station icon or some
yeah.
component that would be like symbolic of the train,
Bro,
of the train network, and you know we can gamify all those locations across the city.
bro, Joe, that would be dope. I think that would be perfect to have on the website.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, that would fall in line with everything. I mean, really. But did you build this using that one tool? Like the not MapQuest, but the I know there was these tools I had showed a long time ago.
Oh yeah, you had. I remember now that I saw Mapbox. I remember you shown me something similar to it. Maybe it was it. Do you remember what you showed me?
I think it was Mapbox, and there was another one I had. I can share them again.
Yeah, because I remember you telling me about it for like I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember. But I think there is.
Hold on, let me see if I still have it on here.
Trying to find if anybody has actually built anything dope. Doesn't look like anybody's actually built anything cool.
What would the use cases even be for those? Like outside of the you can add like a pin location where the map.
So
would
you guys haven't seen. Let me stop sharing my screen. And you guys haven't seen where my inspiration has come from.
Oh, are you muted, Layla? Oh, I guess so. But interesting.
So this app, right? There's this app called Yaystack,
Okay.
right? And there's some people evaluating this app as a partner for the World Cup, and they are built on UI kit, right? So you tap
Oh,
on
and
these.
that's
You tap on these.
They have an aesthetic.
Huh?
They have an aesthetic.
Yeah, they have an aesthetic, right? But it's the aesthetic is built around the Apple Maps aesthetic.
Are
But it's
you at
still
a party? Is you at a party right now? Watching this?
You're not gonna know where I am. I'm not sure.
so the aesthetic. It's built on an aesthetic, and the aesthetic is in line with the Apple Map SDK.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why I started this conversation. I was telling Layla I was thinking about going to switch it from the Google Maps to Apple Maps because Google Maps SDK has those weird watermarks on it that tells you like when they last took scans of that neighborhood. So like
Oh
you
yeah.
can see that you can still see the 2013 watermark on there. So I was
Yeah.
just like, that looks tacky. And it's like Layla was like, you need to have some type of aesthetic to your map. So we started going down the rabbit hole of finding examples, and then I ran into Mapbox that lets you build. Basically, I'm learning. I don't know much about it, but I gotta check it out real quick and
Yeah, I'm
see.
trying to find that other service. That was another map tool that I Bro, I've been craving apples all day, man.
Apples.
Yeah, no, it's random. I've had like
Oh,
3 of them. What was that app?
I'll let you keep looking for that. But to keep going, so that's some homework. There is to try out the map box, um, and see how that works. Maybe watch some videos on it. But let's get back to the conversation of gamification, right? And one thing, and maybe we can brainstorm and talk about this too. But I just learned today that I mean I knew about Airbnb experiences, but I just learned today about how they're actually rolling it out. So initially, I thought I was knowing I had thought I was hearing about Airbnb experiences, and I was thinking about it as just something like, I've been to Airbnbs in other cities before. You can book somebody to basically take you around the city or give you some type of cultural experience that's of that city. Well, now Airbnb experience is expanded to have more of an Eventbrite esque feature where you can list either a experience event or you can list like a service, and you can list like hours, like a schedule hours, like so you can offer much like if you're doing like some type of yoga experience, you can have a 4 o'clock session, a 6 p.m. session, a 8 p.m. session, and you're literally doing the same thing over and over and over again, but you're charging the fee, right? You're charging $100, $100, $100 for everybody that can come between those sessions, right? So
Hmm.
now you have that experience that you can build. So I'm like, yo, what are we doing? We need to have experiences at the blockchain center, and
Right.
and from 1 o'clock, 7 p.m. We're having an hour long. We're having 6 hour blocks of wallet set up for $150. Come get you. Come. I mean, I'm throwing out a random number, but people are coming to Airbnb to find things to do along their journey. So if they come into the city and they want to get their wallet set up in Atlanta blockchain center, there could be literally station slots, and it can also happen with the DAO. The DAO terminus DAO could have locations at which wherever you guys are posted up at, you can have those experience hours by which people can come and pay in, uh, and whatever you want to. It don't gotta be like
Interesting.
while it on board. It can be like a Web3 farmers market, right? But we have the space, uh, might as well make use of it and uh, have a Airbnb experience leading up into the World Cup, because that then creates some momentum around people wanting to come into the city and visit the Atlanta Blockchain Center.
Nah, most definitely. I agree with that. Um, the other site was Kelpler GL.
What's it
Kelp,
called?
Kelper GL, KEPLER.GL.
KELPR.GL.
KEPLER.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
Kelper.GL.
Yeah, Kelper.GL.
Guys, my phone's about to die. I'm hopping off. I'm sorry.
You say your phone's about to die?
4%.
Okay.
Save
Do
that
you have
battery.
Did you have any feedback on what I just said?
What say?
Do you have any feedback on what I just said?
About the Uber AR, I mean Uber experience. Yeah, I think it's smart. Yeah, I mean any type of platform that you can use to take advantage. Stop laughing, Elijah. It's not funny. Any platform that you can take advantage of for, not take advantage of, but utilize the blockchain center advantage. Why not? So I think it's a great idea. And you can definitely see if there are any Web3 platforms kind of doing a similar thing. But if not, it's time for the taking.
I'm pretty sure there's not anybody else doing similar things, especially like that in Atlanta at least.
Definitely not in LA. I literally was having a conversation with someone the other day. And actually, I'm not going to say my opinion because this is very much a hot take. I'm going to keep it to myself and not on the internet.
Dang,
But
now I want to know.
I'll leave it at this. The city needs innovation. It's stuck in freaking the 1930s, okay? On multiple fronts, all right? It needs it. It's ridiculous how resistant people are to innovation, and how people are not creative. Like, I just don't know. Like, and that's not to say that I'm hyper creative, but god dang, how many times are we gonna want to see the same thing over and over again? I don't know. So
No, that's so true.
anything that you can use to innovate, I say do it. But I don't know. Yeah, that's my thing. I just think people are living in 2016 and we're in 2026. Time to move on. So I like the idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my thought.
No, thank you for, and also thank you for, before you log off or something. Thank you for bringing up that aesthetic point, because that's so true. Like, as I'm looking at this,
I know, Joe. I got you, dude. I'm telling you, you need aesthetic. You need something that people will remember. That's why brands are so good. Because like Apple, it's a brand and it has a good phone and good utility, but people really remember the brand, the branding. You need to come up with an aesthetic and map that out, and then use that as your foundation for what you want to do. Building it is not going to be hard, but coming up with an aesthetic, that's hard.
no, 100%. I'm gonna work on that tonight. But so that being said, coming back to the Airbnb experiences, Elijah, did you want to say anything else, or did you already say what you want? Or did you feel like you said everything you wanted to say already?
Yeah, no, I said everything I wanted to say. I think that was a cool concept. I know I joined a little late, so I didn't get to hear everything. Layla, get yourself a charger.
What say?
Said you need to go put your phone on the charger.
I kind of do. This person in front of me has an iPhone charger. I'm going to ask them if I can use it.
Yes, do that. Do that.
So here's some examples. Making glass art. See Atlanta's must-see sites. Let's look at. Are these all in Atlanta? So we got tour, vibe and design. $1.5. I think there's also services on here. Let me see.
All right, and now we have a charger. We're back in business.
Oh, you're still in the game.
Oh, okay, y'all not even seeing what I'm looking at. My bad.
Not at all.
We were
So
looking at the other. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was looking the other day at my buddy was telling me to start looking into Upland and stuff again, and he was
Look at
showing me how
what?
you can have your Upland.
What's that?
It's like the RWA game on your phone. It's like a blockchain game, but it's for like RWA real life real estate. You can purchase it on that game. You can actually have your online store there too, which is kind of interesting. But
Oh my
Anybody
God! Wait, that's my friend.
anybody look familiar
who?
in this?
That's my friend Artemis.
Yeah, right here.
Hey, Artemis, shout out. Hey, if you guys need photography, he's an amazing photographer, amazing videographer. I'm gonna give him a shout out every single time. Yeah,
Wait,
I had to
what
do that
app
real
is this,
quick.
Joe?
This is Airbnb experiences.
Oh, so this is like a new thing.
Yeah, but actually, this is him. This is his
Oh,
account.
he's always ahead of the curve. He of course he knows about this. Yeah, that's awesome.
But you see, this is my point. Like, so he's giving tours and on here for, and look exactly what I'm saying. Look,
The top of the page.
like literally Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday. You just gotta build your calendar and put the price, and people will meet you there and and you take them on a tour.
So
Look,
he he purchased what you call it. So he purchased an Airbnb, put his stuff up in there.
no,
No,
you don't gotta. That's what I initially I thought you had to do. What I learned today is that you can just host. You can be a host without a location. Now, of course, you got to have a partner in location or a partner in locations to kind of like give you the right to work in this area. But he has that right because he is an artist of this space of this
yeah, it's for
ecosystem.
Peachtree Station. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, shout out Peachtree Station. Go check out Peachtree Station. Sorry, Joe, I mean to hijack it. I just have to
No, no,
shout it
no,
out.
no.
Oh, Peter
You
Street
introduced
Station.
me.
That's the
You introduced me to him, and actually, that's why I feel like y'all need to
wait.
talk to. Y'all need to
That's
talk to. That's why I'm surprised y'all haven't connected with I with Artemis yet, because like Peter Street Station has a deep art history, heart rich, and like he took me on a tour with Layla, and well, that was it. Yeah, it was just us three.
Yeah.
yeah. No, Layla, you need to That's dope. No, we definitely need to talk to him.
Yeah.
But same, yeah. I know Brandon's looking at price, is having conversations with uh with with Peter Street Station right now about using that
Yeah,
space.
literally.
But yeah, like he's a great person to talk to about it as well, because he educated me, and yeah. And he was you met him, Elijah. That was his event at the goat farm.
Oh wow, that all that was his event.
No, not all of it, but
Oh,
that was his exhibit that we were at.
oh, dude, that's dope, man. Yeah, I do remember meeting him. That's actually really cool. Man, that was a great.
Yeah, you met Artemis at site.
Yeah, dude. That
Site
I
was so
remember.
dope. Oh my gosh, I can't wait till the one they do this year again. It was so good. Yeah, Artemis Jenkins, by the way, that's his full name, Artemis Jenkins.
Artemis Shit. Yeah, I saw him. He posted that his album online. I saw his album, and I was gonna purchase it.
You should. His work is really good. He did a docu-series on WABC. He had his pilot, his screen on WABC.
Oh wow, really? Wow, man.
There's not even that much stuff on here. Like there's only 31 experiences. I'm putting up some experiences. like come. Like one experience that I thought of putting on here, one serious one is, and this is the last thing, viewers, before we wrap up. But I was putting together this list of things for things that tactical things that we talked about we can do as a DAO, and also things that can contribute to our Georgia 10-5.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I was thinking about after I was talking to ChatGPT was if we need to build a tour from Sandersville to we can do a 3-part tour, but basically from Sandersville to ABC to from Sandersville to ABC to bookstore or one of the train locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what this means is, like, imagine now you show up at ABC at 8:00 in the morning, and we take you in a car to Sandersville, right? So we basically people come, they get in the car, we go on a field trip to Sandersville, where the Bitcoin mine is for I forgot what company. It's not for Clean Spark. Oh, it is for Clean Spark. So we go Clean Spark, right? And we basically give people like a tour, Clean Spark tours. Our Clean Spark, we collaborate with Clean Spark to give tours.
No, we literally could do that. We just have to ask. What's his face?
Bruh, what the fuck? Right here. This was being done by Crypto Mondays last year. They stopped doing it.
And
So
then too, we could ask, maybe ask if Rich could get us a tour.
yeah, we just need to jack this. Yo, the ideas be literally right under the nose. This was last year. We didn't even know about this shit. That's crazy. Join us for Bitcoin Mine Tour Clean Spark. We'll learn about the Bitcoin. I didn't even know Crypto Mondays was still operational. Last time they posted was 2023, so I thought they were done.
Yeah, this is my first time hearing about the group.
I used to go to their events. Their website is not even up. What?
And then yeah, it is up to us to
Yeah,
take that stuff over.
yeah, we gotta go do that.
Nah,
But
we
anyway,
definitely need that.
my point is, we start a conversation at ABC. We get people in the car to take them over to the tour space, right? We bring them back to ABC, have a conversation, and then we wind down the night at Peter Street Station, our bookstore gallery. And that's an all-day event for people. We can take up to, depending on what type of vehicle we have, we can take up to X amount of people. We drive them over there, and we talk about blockchain and crypto. and why it's so important. And this is an experience. Like this one here is like a 8 to 10 hour experience if people get picked up in the morning time. But we can have smaller hour-long experiences.
Dude, that's just like that's innovative, and that's how you activate the city. I mean, outside of what you're doing already with Skylark, but like even larger scale, like a multi-day event, Skylark, not multi-day event, sorry, multi-hour event.
Yeah, yeah, like all day event.
As long as people don't have to drive, they'll be happy.
No, yeah, you don't gotta drive. You just gotta show up and you get driven. I remember when I was in Cuba with my parents, my sister, we all went on this we went on this experience to the tobacco farms, and they drove us into like the tour, the group that was it was big enough, but it was not too big. It was so in like an SUV. So I had two SUVs, probably the size of like a RAV4, and two of those, and it just took us all over. Everybody got into two of the cars, and they drove us down to the tobacco farms. That's it, you know. And you get two people in the community that you trust to drive people to places, and while they're driving, they talk about
People with a good driver history.
Huh?
People with a good driver's history.
Yeah, people with a good driver's history, people who are conversational while driving, because you gotta remember these people from out of the country, so they come in here and they're about to sit in your car for the next hour and a half, and if you just silent, they're gonna be like, "Who the am I riding with? Like, who picked me up? Yeah, he's not talking to me. He's not making me feel like safe in this country, and asking me questions." So you got to have someone that's conversational as well. But yeah, we can look into that. I did have a question for Elijah before we wrap up.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
So tell us about version 6.
So Elijah version 6. I would say this version has slight tweaks, still making some changes here. Really honing in on figuring out what Terminus style is going to be about. This version is better than the last version.
Okay.
It's happy. I would say slight tweaks, like I said.
Slight tweaks and better than last week's version.
Yeah, it's like much better than last week's version.
Okay, got you. Well, that's good to know. You're getting better every day. I always wanted to know what is hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, is this where she is right? Like she's hidden in plain sight right now?
Layla, are you hidden in plain sight right now?
Wait, say?
What is hidden in plain sight?
It's a slogan I've used for years. If you see it on my Instagram, it's on there too.
I know that, but I'm saying what about life? What is hidden in plain sight?
It's acronyms or hips.
Hips. Hips are hidden in plain sight.
The hips don't lie. No, it was just something I came up with because it was a plethora of things. I had an idea to make a film about somebody dealing with issues that no one else knows about. Then I thought about making a documentary about women, hips, that's where hips came from. Hips, about
She's on
women
a
that
sheep.
are dealing with different issues and that hidden in plain sight. But then I just like the slogan because it just makes me think about myself because like it's kind of like how I like to move. Everyone, you know a little bit about me, but you don't know enough about me. Because every time I tell you something, you're like, bro, I didn't know you did that. And I like that. And I like how no one ever knows where I'm truly at. So I'm in plain sight. Just blending in. I'm just blending in with the crowd. So,
No, I like that because that's how I move too.
I like that.
I just
I
like
agree with that.
I like surprising people with new things.
Yeah, you know, you don't. You can sometimes it's nice to be a mystery.
what you say?
Said it's nice to be a mystery.
Yeah, it makes it fun. It makes it fun. Not boring. I can't be boring. Boom. So, yeah, that's my hidden place. What's founder Skylark? No, what does that even mean? What does that
Yeah,
even stand for?
what is the founder of Skylark means. So
Yeah, what does that mean?
that's a good way to segue and like close out where we begun, right? So everybody, you know, we started the show. I told you who I am. I'm the founder of Skylark, Just Cheese. You know, maybe there's more interesting story around how I got the name Just Cheese, and so I'll tell you guys that the name Just Cheese was given to me in high school because I just ate cheese sandwiches. I would just
Mm.
literally like take bread and cheese, and that was my lunch for the day for school. So people started to say like my mom offered to make better food, like better lunch for me. I was like, nah, I'm just trying to eat sandwiches. And my mom was like, that all you want to eat? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to eat some Just Cheese sandwiches. And so I made Just Cheese sandwiches. I took them to school, and people just started calling me Just Cheese because like, is that all you gonna eat? And I was like,
That's
yeah.
actually
And they're like,
cute.
oh.
That was actually such a cute little story. That is so cute. That is so cute. Oh my gosh. I've never had a nickname, so I can't relate. But that is so cute.
I don't know.
That is such a sweet
The word.
story.
It's a what story?
It's a sweet story. It's like adorable. Like no, it's sweet. It's actually, and now you just kept it. No, I'm being serious. Hold on now. Everyone's origin nickname is like something cute and innocent, or it can become crazy. But most time it's like something cute and innocent and it just kind of sticks. So that's why I said it's like I was like, oh, that's cute. Like, oh, I just cheese sandwich. Like, oh, that's cute, and it just carried on.
Well,
Like,
I'm actually gonna be making Just Cheese collectibles.
You are okay. Is it some alpha?
Yeah, making Just Cheese collectibles. They're little boo boos, and you gotta collect your Just Cheese.
I was gonna try to make a joke, but I can't even. I'm gonna stop.
What? What's your joke?
Yeah, I need to hear this.
I was trying to think about a joke about like a mouse, because you know mice like cheese, but I couldn't like think about how to say it in a funny way, so I just kept it to myself.
Yeah, a mouse.
You know how mice like cheese?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like a play off of what you're talking about, but with the word mice, but I couldn't think of it, so it didn't work out.
Oh well, just so you know, another random fact. One of my first logos was a mouse hovering over some cheese, and then his tail was spelling out Just Cheese.
Do you have that logo still?
That's crazy.
I just remember that I made that logo. Now I gotta find that logo. It was really just the mouse was just there hovering over the
Bring
cheese.
it back, because you know what mice like? Just cheese.
I know. I might bring it back.
Layla, I think that came in a little too late.
Huh?
I said I think that came in a little too late.
Is that the joke that you were gonna make? What do mice like Just Cheese? Was that the joke? Oh. Well,
It came in at like the most
I think it was funnier after the fact.
No, it was funny.
I think it's funnier
it was
after
funny.
the fact. Actually, I think it's funny
It
after
was
the
funny.
fact. So
I just like how
funny
she.
to think that was what you were that you didn't want to tell us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was funny. It came in at the perfect time.
Oh, wait, Bacon? What I didn't want to tell you?
I said the joke came in at the like it came in after the fact, but it still came in at a good time.
Oh, good. Yay.
You can put QR codes on here. I just noticed that. Maybe I'll do that later. But without further ado, thank you guys for another great session. This session was more, I would say, more explorational because stuff that actually gonna go build now. So I'm glad to have gotten you guys input there. And yeah, so I'm gonna keep working on that prototype. You have any ideas? Shoot them over to me. And I'm gonna bring up those ideas, those experience ideas, at our next meeting on Tuesday, Elijah. Uh, and you
Hmm.
can take some of those over to the DAO meeting. I mean, yeah, you can take some of those over to the DAO meeting. So we can all talk about those on Tuesdays, though, if you have any ideas. But I think from what that map that Lachey, that you guys created, and then Tia
Hmm.
talking about having like some ideas to kind of coincide with the the governor's race and the politicians. I think
Hmm.
things like this bring awareness to where crypto and blockchain can have an impact in the city, and then that makes it more intentional to bring out representatives and stuff of this sorts to these conversations, to have them kind of see like and simulate like, oh shit, that's kind of again why I started with the bring it 360. That's why I started with the
You
watching how I was watching Sim City, and I was just seeing the first thing you do in the game is you put down a power plant. Right now, imagine if you could put down a power plant, but you put it down in the economics. You put down is like you put down like community owned power plant. So now you can kind of like simulate the idea of the community getting paid off of providing energy back to the power plant. So when SimCity adds like crypto blockchain technology to the game, that way you can play, because we were watching it, and they said stuff like they added smoking ordinances to the game back in like 19, I forgot what year, but basically when they added smoking ordinances, that allowed for people who would play the game to designate certain areas as non-smoking, right? So now you
mm,
can simulate how much of an impact that would have on an area. And in that same length, we could probably see a future where we put Bitcoin miners in SimCity, and you can opt in to have a Bitcoin miner, uh, or even data centers. Like the next version of SimCity could be interesting. Like you could have a data center in your city. You can have, uh, uh, yeah, you could have a data center in your city. You could have a Bitcoin miner in your city, and then all these things can influence how your city plays out.
oh, and this is all hypothetical, right? Like this is not a real. Or are you talking about?
SimCity, the game.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that would be cool. The game, if it adds that, were you trying to tie that into real life at all?
Well, if no, I mean, not really. I mean, yes, I was trying to see how the content of the game can relate to Skylark, but I was more also just thinking about, like if we were to be able to talk about it from a crypto perspective, like the
Mm,
economy of the city, how would it look like if you gave blockchain boys the city to run the city?
Oh yeah, no, that would be. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. That would be really cool, actually. Basically, like kind of gamify. It'd be like we're evolutionizing or evolving Atlanta, but we could do it in like the Sim City sense first, as an example,
Yeah,
and
if you
then.
had the ability to build on paper, build Atlanta as
Mhm.
a blockchain city or as a smart city, really. And that's actually what I need to look into. Like the games, I'm pretty sure there's a smart city builders game type shit out there. Maybe it's
Has
like
to
the
be.
late. It might be the we were watching Sim City 2000. What's the latest version of Sim City?
20.
The latest version is 2013. That's not late enough.
Okay, guys, I'm hopping off.
All right, Layla.
All
All
right,
right.
be safe.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Night. Yeah, the latest version was in 2013, so maybe I don't know. Maybe it's no point in exploring that right now. But yeah, that's it pretty much. Anything else from your end?
Nah, man. I'm just excited to see how everything's gonna turn out with Terminus DAO, Skylark, and like maybe Terminus DAO and Skylark can have a partnership, start doing stuff all together, man.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure, for sure.
yeah, I mean, I think that's already inevitable right now. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch the other few minutes of this episode because I missed some of it.
Yeah, check it out if you want to learn about the city building stuff. I thought that was interesting. But outside of that, man, yeah, let me know if you need anything. I'm gonna go work on this stuff.
All right, Joe, you have a good night, man.
All right, man. Peace,
All right,
Elijah.
peace.